It was actually a publisher, Chiang, who approached me and said, we'd like to do a book on international service in Singapore. We want something quite light-hearted. Can you do it? So I said yes. So I went up and wrote the book, came out with the title, and it was a big surprise to me that it did so well. And then 2 years later, I was persuaded to do a play based on the book, which is what happened. So back in '87, I wrote the play. It was my first full-length play.
I mean, those days, it's all serious. And Army Days came out, we were like all laughing because it was real. And Ines has that nuances, and we loved it.
I think Army Days was a watershed play because it really brought us to the realization that we could have Singapore on stage.
I feel Army Days is very close to many Singaporeans' hearts because every boy has to go through national service.
Their mothers go through, what their girlfriends go through, what their friends go through. So I don't think that anyone will ever, forget their NS experience. And we always like to see our lives reflected on stage.
Michael captured the humor, the local humor, which probably a lot of people don't quite get the essence of it, but he really nails it. And I think it's something that is a light-hearted view on a very serious subject for many Singaporeans.
I remember us sitting down talking about how would someone like Malcolm sound. He was very difficult to place. I don't think Singapore theatre had ever seen a character like that on stage. And for that matter, any of the other characters.
And the fact that we used a lot of Singlish, we used a lot of dialect, and I had characters speaking in a normal Singapore so-called language was unusual. And we didn't know how the audience would take it, but it went down quite a treat.
The characters are all very multicultural, and the backgrounds they come from are also diverse.
It's become so integral to Singapore culture. It's almost like a national dish, like rojak is.
Michael, who's an old friend, invited me to go and see his play. Of course, it wasn't the original first staging of his play. And I was pleasantly surprised. It was extremely funny, and I enjoyed it very much. And I thought, well, this is a great subject that can be turned into a movie, and I had always wanted to make a film. So one thing led to another, and there we are. We have Army Days, the movie.
I have some good news and some bad news. This afternoon, all of you will have a change of underwear. Now the bad news. Bad news. Platoon 4 will change with Platoon 5.
I remember it's one of those films that I can watch over and over again and still not get sick of it. And it's one of those films that I actually can remember lines from.
We filmed in Nee Soon Camp, which was where I did my BMT. So I had horrors of going back there.
First of all, I have to say that that's the first time I've actually done any acting. It really has impacted my life, not just from an experience and nostalgic standpoint, but it's really boosted my confidence.
Kenny, not just who he is. In those days, we were like not even wanting to recognize Kenny existed. But just Kenny as a story, the richness of his life, in the context of it is someone having to be committed. Where's my family? What's happening? And those are real situations, and that's what Kenny represents.
When I first read Malcolm Peng, it was me, I felt. And for all his idiosyncrasies, he's real because he really believes in what he believes. And I think that's what drew me to the character of Malcolm.
I remembered when there was an audition call for the 2012 version of Army Days, and I was so upset because I couldn't go for the audition because I didn't think there was any roles that were suitable for me. And then one day I got a call to say that they wanted to offer me a role, and I'm like, whose mother am I going to play? I don't think there's any mother roles that would be suitable for me. And then they told me that I was going to play a sergeant.
I think the one that people associate me with would probably be Malcolm Peng, who's the middle-class mummy's boy. But apart from that, actually I like all the characters I created. I mean, I love the playful Johari, I love Krishna, and I think Abeng is hilarious, and of course Kenny is very colourful. So I actually like them all very much.
The many different lives that NS represents, and it is still relevant. We want to hear the stories, and I think with this new take of the next generation coming in with their own nuances, I'm looking forward to see that new reality presented again from an Army Days lens. It's going to be fun.
I'm very excited to know what's going to happen in this Army Daze, the sequel. A bit upset because I'm not in it, but it's still going to be fun and funny nonetheless.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful to be able to inhabit Malcolm again all these years, and he's grown up. But basically, deep down, he's still Malcolm Peng.
So you should watch Army Daze because it's still the longest running play in Singapore, and it's got everything that you want to know about the five boys, what's happened to them after 30 years, and it'll be a fun night out.